Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Carlene. I'm your host, and I'm so happy that you found your way here. Make sure that you click like, subscribe, and share, and you drop a comment in the description box below. And I'm especially interested to hear what you have to say about, or what your ideas are about this topic that I'm just going to wander and explore with you. So I haven't really fleshed it out completely to the ultimate because I already, know. So I'm just going to speak from my heart here, but what is it with female suffering being a badge of honor? And what is it with female suffering being a pivoting or a turning point, especially in a male evolutionary process? What do I mean by that? Well, let's go way back, right? Way, 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 way back. So in Hinduism, feminine energy is seen as energy. It is literally energy, whereas the masculine energy or the masculine thing is seen as the field itself, the field of consciousness itself. So the feminine is what gets things moving. The feminine is what moves things and what creates things, in the sense that the feminine also creates this illusion that we live in called Maya. And so some people, if you look it up, they will. Nobody knows really where this originated in. These thoughts go way back in Hindu mythology and teachings and writings. And nobody really knows what the foundational argument is to say that female or energy is female, whereas the space is male, right? Or the consciousness is male. So, but some people think it has to do with the feminine body, and that the feminine body goes through a lot of transformations and flows with various changes in cycles, which male bodies do not do. So this whole transformation, transformational energies or transformational flows, that is seen as kind of female. Now, it goes on to say, or eventually it develops into this mindset that the feminine is what actually propels the male into transitioning into his full self, into his manly self. So on the one hand, a man has to encounter fear, yes, and overcome that fear, but then also another initiation is the encounter with a true woman, and to find himself and his purpose and his mission within that. And I won't dive too much into that, how that's supposed to work, but it works on apparently on all levels. People do it tantrically, but also through women asking for things and the man having to fulfill those things. And through fulfilling what the woman is asking for, he encounters his himself. And so this is why it's super important for men to have a woman who's going to ask for things that elevate them both, and especially elevates him and brings the best out of him, and why a man can instinctually go into resistance when a woman asks for something if he somehow feels this is not in my highest or best interest. This is not going to turn me into the man that I'm supposed to become or that I'm supposed to be. So, but that's a whole other video in and of itself. So I'll just keep it on moving. But fast forward to the Middle Ages in Europe, and all of a sudden we have a whole bunch of knights wandering around and bards, and they start singing romantic songs. And again, here we have that same kind of dynamic where it's the saving the maiden that becomes the pivotal point, that becomes the point of maturation, evolution, the point that shows the soul of the man, for this knight to go and save this maiden in distress. So damsel in distress is a thing, and that word that we use, damsel in distress, actually comes from the French, demoiselle en détresse. But moving forward, right, and along the timeline, I'm rushing it because you guys get the gist. But eventually people started noticing. People started noticing that, hold up a sec, female suffering has become the turning point in a lot of movies, a lot of stories. It's the female that has to be suffered from the jungle and Romancing the Stone and Indiana Jones movies and Star Wars, Princess Leia, and on and on and on it goes. There's always a woman who needs rescuing. Not that women shouldn't be rescued. That's not my point at all. But my point is to have a look at how female suffering is depicted, right? And if we look at the fairy stories and we see, let's just take the big three, okay, or some of the, whatever, we've got Cinderella. So Cinderella suffered rejection, abandonment, being an outcast, being betrayed, being neglected. These are all serious traumatic experiences for people. People go to therapy for these experiences and these traumas that dictate their lives. So it's almost, these fairy stories are almost normalizing suffering in a certain way if we're not understanding them with the psychological breakdown that other people have done, right? Snow White, rejection, attempted unaliving, like that's intense, right? This is physical abuse that she's experienced on her body with someone trying to take her life. Ariel, betrayal, right? In the original Ariel story, it didn't have a really happy ending for Ariel, right? You guys look it up, what the original Ariel story is. And so she was betrayed, loss of identity, loss of herself, of her identity, and then having to go into working for humanity for 300 years as she roams this earth. And walking after she lost her tail was like walking on being cut by knives. That's how it was described, that she was being cut by knives. It felt like she was being cut by knives when she was walking. And she did that for this man who ended up betraying her. So it's ongoing. We're being bombarded with these images of female suffering, Mother Mary, right? All of it. And it's become like this badge of honor. It was a badge of honor for the longest time. And women, when tried to break free of that, sure, but has it really gone anywhere? Now, there is a term called fridging, and I'll just blend this in and read a little bit to you. 1 second, let me just pull it up here. So you can see here, women in refrigerators, right? And it's a literary trope coined by Gail Simone in 1999, describing a trend in fiction which involves female characters facing disproportionate harm, such as death, maiming, assault, to serve as plot devices to motivate male characters, an event colloquially known as fridging. Simone's original list of over 100 affected female characters published on the Women in Refrigerators website sparked discussions on this topic in pop culture and the comic book industry. And the term was coined by a comic book fan and later writer, named after an incident in Green Lantern, written by Ron Mars. The story includes a scene in which the title hero comes home to his apartment to find that the villain Major Force had killed Rainer's girlfriend and stuffed her into a refrigerator. And it describes a trend where something bad would happen to female characters, and it was disproportionately more often than male characters, and that it became actually a plot twist or a plot to move the plot forward and to get the hero to become a hero, to evolve or develop into being a hero. That was on the back of female suffering, right? So I found that fascinating because I've worked with so many of you, and I've worked with myself and done so much healing on myself. And I realized that there's this aspect deep, deep, deep down in us, whether we like it or not. It's in our culture, it's in the water that we drink and the air that we breathe. We absorb it from we're a baby, that somehow, suffering is going to be good, right? A good, more suffering, the better it is. I wrote this down here. The more I suffer, the more I gain, or the more I suffer, the more I love you. And it is a thing. And people don't realize that this program is running in the background. They really don't. And for you, if you look back on the past and your previous relationships and your how you went about things, maybe you'll see it in action. Maybe you'll see that, sometimes we allow suffering, or we willingly dive into suffering or experience pain, right? Because that's what suffering is, experiencing pain in order to prove our love, or in order to get the reward at the end of the day. So what if we all deprogrammed from that? What if we all deprogram from that notion that we have to suffer in order to gain, that we have to suffer in order to evolve, that we have to suffer in order to find love and keep love, that we have to be suffering in order to be good women? What if we deprogrammed from that and we went deep inside and we found where it sits and we release it? So that's what I want to do with you right now. Okay, so what I want us to do is to find a place to sit and just get really comfortable wherever you are, or you can lie yourself down and take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold and exhale in through your nose. Hold and exhale. And one more time, in through your nose. Hold and exhale. And on the exhale, feel your energy field expanding and opening. Feel your aura expanding and opening. I want you to go to that place inside of yourself where you feel that spark of light, that tiny little spark of light. And as you focus on that light, that spark grows. It grows larger and larger and larger, filling out the space completely where it is. Now filling out your entire torso, your entire body, from head to toe. And now that light is glowing all around you, bathing you in this beautiful heart light and expanding out through your aura. And a deep breath in and allow that energy to expand out through your aura and out through the community, out through the world around you. And wherever there's a sense of pain within you, go there now. And maybe this is a pain of disappointment, the pain of not getting what you want, some kind of suffering. Enter in through that pain. And find that little girl or boy who believes that love equals suffering or suffering equals love. And that good things come to those who wait. And enduring suffering, unnecessary suffering. We're focused on the unnecessary suffering is what it takes to be lovable. And you're going to take this little one in your arms and hug her or him very tightly. And feel that hug flowing through your entire being. And when you're in that space of love, We're going to call in your divine highest self. And again, you'll feel your energy expanding outward and opening, your heart opening, your solar plexus opening, your crown chakra, third eye, throat. I'm asking my divine self, my highest self, to come to me now. My highest, most divine, most compassionate, most beautiful self to come to me now. I'm asking to feel what it is like when my highest self is there with me. Who would I be? What would I do? And I'm asking for this divine self to help me release any negative beliefs and attachments I have towards love and suffering. I'm releasing the deep belief given to me, and you guys can repeat after me. I'm releasing the deep belief handed down to me from my ancestors, my collective, my community. I'm releasing that program that good women are suffering women, that good women suffer and are not allowed to be happy or fulfilled or joyful or beautiful. I'm releasing the program that everything comes to those who wait and endure in extreme suffering. Help me, my highest self, to release the program that love equals suffering, and the more I suffer, the more I love, or the more someone suffers for me, the more they love me. Release any expectations or any beliefs that I hold in regards to suffering and love. I release, in the case that you're a parent, the belief that I can only be a good parent if I suffer for my children, that I'm a good mother if I suffer for my loved ones. If I give myself up, if I lose my identity like Ariel, if I'm neglected, abandoned, betrayed like Cinderella, if I am attacked like Snow White and left to wander the forest of life by myself, I release all these stories out of my programming. I release all these concepts of a long bygone age out of my programming. I open the space for more love to flood me now from my highest and most divine self, for a new blueprint to be laid, a new pattern to be absorbed within me, new concepts of freedom and openness and love to fill those spaces which were before inhabited with pain and suffering. I release the ideas and the expectations around love and suffering now and forevermore, once and for all, throughout all dimensions, all timelines, all spaces, all realms, known or unknown, here or there. I release myself from that matrix of love and suffering. And I now open myself to experience freedom and love, success and love, beauty and love and more love. I let go of all these old patterns and I rise higher and higher and higher to meet my fulfilled, liberated, divine self. And I welcome this new experience into my life now. That love equals joy. That love equals freedom. That love equals truth and authenticity. That love equals love. That love equals happiness. That love equals joy and expansion, acceptance, support, And you can fill in whatever words that you need, that you feel you need, the kind of love that you need. Fill these words in for yourself now, that you're experiencing that love. You're experiencing that beauty. You're experiencing that joy. And it is okay for me to be happy as a woman. And it is okay for me to witness other women being happy without criticizing or wondering. It is okay for other women to be happy. It is okay for mothers to be happy. It is okay for lovers to be happy, for wives and teachers and whatever women are doing. It is okay to feel fulfilled and happy and be a good woman. I accept this truth into my heart now. And I feel this truth anchoring into my sacral chakra, spreading roots into my root chakra. Then I feel the blossoms moving up into my third eye and up through my crown. And it is good to be me. It is good to be here. And this life is amazing. I release myself from the need to be a damsel in distress. I release myself from feeling victimized. I release myself from expecting an external savior. I release myself from expecting more suffering to reach any or all of my goals. Namaste. Deprogram, you guys. Take care. Bye. Let me know in the comments below how you felt and how this went for you. Oh, feel that warmth. Feel that warmth. Yes.